Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Rays Rewind with El Bushman and Drew.
Jansen. That is into center field. Here comes Kiermaier. Phillips has tied the game. Arose Arena coming around. Throw home. Now he stumbles. But the ball gets away. Tampa Bay wins it. Brett Phillips, Game 4 hero.
The sickest Tampa Bay Rays podcast. It's gonna be sick. Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Rays Rewind with El Bushman and Drew.
Jansen. That is into center field. Here comes Kiermaier. Phillips has tied the game. Arose Arena coming around. Throw home. Now he stumbles. But the ball gets away. Tampa Bay wins it. Brett Phillips, Game 4 hero.
The sickest Tampa Bay Rays podcast. It's gonna be sick.
Holy moly. Not every show is going to start perfectly. Wow. It's been a long day. Yeah, put the intro on a loop. I didn't put us in the thing, but welcome in everybody to a live edition. That's why we're live. This is a live show now.
Live TV, baby.
I know. Yeah. Welcome everybody to the Rays Rewind podcast live on X. You can catch us on the replay at our YouTube page at the Sick Podcast Rays Rewind. It is the Rays Rewind podcast, the sickest Tampa Bay Rays podcast on the Sick Podcast Network. I'm Evan. Joining me as usual is Drew, and we welcome back in Sean for our show this Sunday. Nothing's perfect on this show. That's why there's glitches all the time and everything. But the Rays dropped the last game of the 3-game set against the Seattle Mariners today for the retirement of Evan Longoria's number, which was a great time today. Yeah, I did mean to do that, Drew. You don't have to put it in the comments. You can just tell me all right. It's okay. It happens.
Just a true pro.
I know, yeah. So it was Longo's Legacy Weekend this weekend. The Rays did pull out 2 out of the 3 against the Seattle Mariners. It was a fun way to honor Evan Longoria's legacy with not only retiring his number today, but also putting him in the Hall of Fame with only a select few. There's only a select few in the Rays Hall of Fame, but I think today was pretty much he is the kind of the first official player to be in the Hall of Fame for the Tampa Bay Rays, which is super special for him. He is right now, we can say Junior Caminero is the face of the franchise for this era of the Rays, but for the longest time, Evan Longoria was the face of the franchise. And it was just a great atmosphere today. Sean, you and I went to the game, packed house at the Trop, festivities going around all over the place. The ceremony was wonderful. I had a little tear in my eye. I was trying to look away from you, Sean, while it was going on. I almost choked up watching the video, which didn't have any audio twice, by the way. We had to wait.
Yeah. Did they ever get that working? Because on TV,
it got working. It got working.
When did they actually play it?
Like
so they
5
played
minutes
it
later.
Yeah, they played it right after
okay.
Andy Freed did his speech, and then there was no audio. So Andy Freed's like, all right, well, we got some technical difficulties. Let's see if we can run this again. And ran it again. Started to have a glitch again, but then the audio came back in. So that was fun.
Well, I'm glad you looked away because I was also choking up a little bit. So
were you choking up too?
We synchronized, kind of looked away there. So good on us.
All right, good. Yeah, I was. I was like, man, I don't want to be crying all over the place when it's not really manly of me to be tearing up. But look, baseball does that to everybody. It does that. So, your guys' thoughts on Longo's Legacy Weekend? The Rays look good both games except for today, which was kind of a bummer. But your thoughts on Longo's Legacy Weekend this past week? And
Sean, you got it, man.
Yeah, I obviously great series win going to the All-Star break today. It was a little bit of not our best, or their best, but good series win regardless. I'm just so happy that they rolled out the red carpet for Longo. Like you said, Evan, when you think of Tampa Bay Rays baseball, the first player you think of is Evan Longoria. And so to have him be in the Rays Hall of Fame and for them to celebrate him for 2 whole days and not only celebrate him, but really do it right. I wasn't there yesterday, but like you said, Evan, we were there today, and it was just really cool to see not only Evan Longoria there, see all his teammates there, and see all the love shown for Longo on Twitter. So many people were posting their favorite Longo stories, their favorite Longo memories, and it's a little emotional. I mean, it was just super cool, and they did it right, and I'm glad they rolled out the red carpet.
Yeah, as far as the on-field play, the team getting a series win against the Mariners, I think was expected, in my opinion, coming in. Even though they, maybe blew a chance against the Yankees on Thursday, you're looking at the Mariners team. They didn't have Julio Rodriguez because he's got a concussion, or at least coming back from one. Cal Raleigh's just been nothing close to anything he was last year. You're basically getting the Mariners at a pretty good time. Even, they're not at full strength and haven't been playing well all season. So they were definitely a beatable team this weekend. And so I'm glad they at least took 2 of 3. I guess when you always have the chance for the sweep, you would hope you get the sweep, especially with all the AL East teams winning this weekend, seemingly. But yeah, 2 of 3, can't complain about that. I thought Jax pitched great, in 5 innings. Nick Martinez was great on Friday. Seymour wasn't obviously very strong today, but you think about the big moment with like Ryan Valade having the pinch hit opportunity. He's been somebody I think that's exceeded expectations, even though someone on this podcast said at the beginning of the season he would be an X factor for the team. I'm struggling. I mean, we're going to completely overlook my Mets World Series. I'm going to focus on that one. But no, it was great to see him have a big moment too. I mean, that opportunity of, really just the polar opposites of coaching right there, of managing a baseball team, right? Dan Wilson sticks with his guy when he wanted to go get him. It backfires. They bring on the pinch hitter, Cash pinch hits Mullins for Valade, and the rest is history. So I love seeing Valade succeed, especially in a moment like that. And then, the legacy stuff for Longo was awesome. I was subjected to just watching it on TV, unfortunately. I didn't have the pleasure of seeing any of that in person, but outside the technical difficulties today, I thought it was great. The tantric stuff at the beginning, I knew it would be cool. And like, I don't know, I don't listen to that kind of music in my personal life much, but obviously that song is so important to me as a Rays fan. And then I think I underestimated how cool it would be, even just to hear it being played live on a TV and watching him come out like that. So that I can only imagine what that was like in person. And it really is the first Rays player. Like no disrespect to Wade Boggs or, Don Zimmer. But I mean, like Wade Boggs, he's not in the Hall of Fame as a Rays. Like it's not, he didn't have a career as a Rays player. He had a moment as a Rays player, and he's from the area, which is cool. Don Zimmer, sure, he's a coach and he was important to the team, during his time here. But I mean, Longoria is from 08 to 2015, 2016 was like the guy. And then he's really just been the main, until someone takes over, right, on those all-time leaderboards, he's going to be the face of the Rays for the foreseeable future. So it was really neat. I mean, I was telling my son, I was like, this was the guy. Like this was, like if you wouldn't have been a Rays fan back then, this was your favorite player, no doubt. Like
it was fun to relive memories too, because you get a little bit nostalgic to it. And a lot of people were posting on X and social media like, oh, I remember when doing this. Well, I was like, I remember when you could bring in your own food to the Trop. I remember when they had free parking if you had 4 more people in your car. It was fun to have the nostalgia there. And like the old players too, like James Shields was there, Eric Hinsky was there, those guys, part of that era. And and then seeing James Shields on the telecast, I don't know if he was a little stoned or maybe had a little adult beverages during the day, but he was so funny on the telecast too as well. But like, it was just cool to see those guys, come and support him. And then it was really cool to see Longo there just embracing everything and really putting his heart on his sleeve, doing his speech and too as well. Like I had to watch it on TV as well on Saturday, but like going today, it was really even cool to just see his number being revealed up in that top part of the 300 section. And then that's going to be there and, possibly move to the new stadium, which we know hopefully will happen. But, he is like the first official Rays player to be retired, which is really cool. So,
on TV, I'm sure can't imagine they showed something like this at the stadium, but on TV today, they showed a side-by-side comparison of Junior's first.
They did. I think they showed that at the Trop on the Jumbotron.
Did they?
Looking at
and I was honestly surprised because other than I think home runs, Junior's got him by a little bit, by like 10 or so. I mean, really, like Longo matched him or bested him in pretty much every. Now, Longo was much more further along. I mean, he was, out of
Right.
college, a couple years out of college. Like the fact that Junior's doing what he's doing at, 22, 23 is a whole makes it even crazier, in my opinion. But honestly, I wouldn't have. I guess I wouldn't have pegged Longoria to have really bested Caminero in almost all of those numbers, especially like RBIs and stuff. And like he just was so good. And I think people sleep on just how good he was because really his best years were really at the beginning, like his best statistical years.
Yep.
And most memorable, in my opinion. But he was just so steady and so good at third base and, batting third. Like, I mean, just can't beat him, man. So I'm glad to see him.
Side note
I would love to see him come back with the organization somehow, but
side note on Tantric, I didn't know they were still around. So when they came out and started playing the song, I was like, hey, they sound pretty good for guys I thought that had broken up and we're still doing dad rock. So
hey, didn't they have a concert at Ferg's afterwards?
Yeah, they had a concert at Ferg's right after. I was like, wow, okay. Well, I'm not sticking around for that, but it's pretty
I don't even know the name. That's so funny. I don't even know the name. I mean, I couldn't.
So here's a little music trivia about Tantric. They are an offshoot of a band called Days of the New, which was like an old grunge band. This is like dating me forever. Like it's making me feel old. Like a few of those guys were in Days of the New, and then they formed Tantric, and like Tantric had a couple of songs, but like they're most known for like this one because of Longo. So
I was gonna say, like, I always wanted to know, like, was Evan just like super into Tantric? Is that just like
so allegedly the story goes like his original walk up song was California Love by Tupac and Dr. Dre. That was the original song because obviously he's from California and everything. But then the story goes he was flipping through an iPod. But Evan told the story on the pregame stuff. He was going through an iPod at the time, and he landed on that song. And he's like, oh, I think I kind of like this. And then that's the song he stuck with. But it was originally California Love.
He heard the violins and was just like, this is it. This is
I know, it really
my song.
Nailed it.
They had a violin player there too today at the drop too as well. So which is pretty cool.
They killed it.
Yeah. So all right, let's get into first half grades. The All-Star break is upon us. The first half of the season is over with. The Rays are in I wouldn't say a commanding lead, but they're in a nice 3-game lead over the New York Yankees in an AL that is kind of on a downturn this year. But let's give our first half grades to the Tampa Bay Rays. Drew, I'm going to go to you first. What is your first half grade? That looks like an A, kind of like an A, yeah.
Maybe
it's like an A to me.
A. I would give it an A+, but I'm going to give it an A.
Okay.
Because they didn't close out the Yankees at the Trop.
Okay.
They would have wrapped up the season series at the Trop with Drew Rasmussen on the mound. I would have said, listen, no matter how this goes, like they did everything, first half, there's nothing you can really get on them for. I'm going to say A.
Okay.
I mean, they just, even Evan, you and I were obviously optimistic coming into the year, trying to temper that a little bit because we didn't want to be just complete homers, even though we obviously are very biased. And
we don't want to be too much fanboys.
Just trying to look at it objectively, like, and it's hard not to get sucked into all the stuff that gets written up before the season about, projections. And you see it so many places, like the Rays are going to finish last in the division. It's like, it's hard not to think like, oh, it's probably going to happen. So even us, like being optimistic, we were thinking like, maybe getting in as a third wild card, hanging around, and they just completely crushed any of those expectations. I mean, they just exceeded them. So A for me. I mean, the pitching's been great. I mean, I could not imagine Nick Martinez being an all-star when the season started after how he looked in spring. We talked about it. I mean, just looks so bad. And we just thought they wasted $13 million on him.
That's why it's a live show.
The road's been a little bit like, Shane's been a little zigzag on the journey back, up and down. But I mean, I think comprehensively, like you're thrilled with what we've seen from him. Ras has been awesome. Junior's been like better than advertised. I mean, like it's hard. There's really, you could say maybe some of the bullpen and some of the the fielding at times has been lackluster, but you hope that gets addressed at the deadline. And yeah, man. So A for me, the Yankee series. I'm like, there's a part of me I'm like, I just really worry that's going to come back to bite us down the road. So A for me.
You know what's going to come back and haunt is something's going to come back and haunt the Yankees when Judge was doing this. That's going to come back to haunt the Yankees later on this year. That thing.
Judge is so he's so like I think there's a lot of Rays fans. I don't know anybody that would look at him and be like, oh, I hate that guy, because he really does seem like kind of like Mookie Betts. Like Mookie Betts, like when he was on the Red Sox, like, man,
I don't know,
really
Drew.
cool.
After this, I kind of hate him now.
That's the thing. It's like super nice guy. I don't have any problems with Judge. Like, if he's successful in his endeavors outside of the Rays, like, I'm fine with that. Whatever. Like, you can respect who he is as a player, and he seems like a nice guy. Everybody likes him. But he's like the lamest. Like, when he tries to get hype, when he tries to like really show emotion on the field or get his team hype or, look really cool doing something or, do the bullpen call and kind of trash his version of trash talk. He is so lame. It's so lame.
It's cringe.
Honestly, it's hard to watch. Like, I cannot. I watched that and I was like, this.
Look, I'm down with the whole Captain
so
America thing. I'm cool with the whole Captain America thing when they had Team USA. I thought he was, he's a big lumbering dude, but like to do this, like, come on,
just so low energy,
dude, bro. Yeah, and you're out. You're out. There's no timetable when you're
like I just
don't do that when you're active on the roster and you're not on the IL. Like, when you're doing this, when you're hurt and there's no timetable for you to come back in to help out your team, just sit down.
Judge is the guy in like the high school locker room when like the coach says something and like gets like yells at someone. He's the one who stands up. Is like, yeah, guys, coach is right. Like that. He gives that energy when he does anything like that. And I like Judge as a guy, but that was kind of bush league. It's like, what are we doing? And it was cringe. You're right, Drew.
It's cringe. Yeah, he's very cringy. Anytime he tries to be cool like that, like little flair. No, it's just
Judge reminds me of Ogre from Revenge of the Nerds. He was like the big lumbering idiot on the jock side that had to hype up the main guy, and he was just like, yeah, that's Judge. He's Ogre from Revenge of the Nerds. So, Sean, what's your grade for the Rays?
Similar to Drew. I mean, relative to expectations for me, I was just looking at my like preseason predictions on what I put on or what I posted to X, and I had the Rays as a 500 team and finishing last in the division. So it's got to be an A+ for me. I was more optimistic than the last 2 years. And I mean, they just have exceeded all expectations for me. The front three in the lineup have been better than maybe any front three in baseball, like we've talked about on this podcast. The pitching's been great. The defense has been good and getting better. The bullpen should be better. So I honestly didn't know what the lineup was going to look like outside of our top three, and they've come up in spots. There's still a lot to get from the bottom of the lineup, but they pick and choose and have big nights when we need them. And I feel like the Rays, and maybe this is just them being back at the Trop and using the Trop as a weapon, but the Rays are back to playing Rays baseball. The past 2 years, it was the same. Well, we don't know how good they're going to be on paper, and then they win 90 games. The past 2 years, we haven't done that. This is the back to the Rays we know of. Can this roster compete? What is this lineup going to look like? 3 games up going into the All-Star break. So we're back to raising, as I'd like to say, and so that's why I'm going to give it an A+.
I'm going to go A-, and I only go A- because of just some series that they should have won. So I'll say A-. I mean, look, going back, we all thought they were going to be probably middle of the road, not going to probably be over 500, maybe below 500, but they've had exceeded expectations so far that we didn't think they were going to exceed expectations. But there are a few series along the way where they should have closed out and should have won. And that was by like stupid mistakes and stupid pitching mistakes too as well. So I would say A-, but like the ceiling is so much higher they can go in the second half. And Sean, you and I talked about this at the game today when it comes to the trade deadline, which we'll get into in a minute in our later, something or nothing. But like there's the ceiling is so much higher now where the second half is look, you guys are in first place right now. You've got a lot of chips that you can carry. Like the only thing you guys can do is just take a nosedive and just go back to what you were doing last season, and it's just take a huge nosedive after the All-Star break. But right now, I think the aura of this team is so much different. There's such a new smell to this team going into the second half. It's like, okay, they've been playing good baseball, and they've been playing like that consistent small ball like all season long. And that's what we're known to see. We're not, the Rays aren't known for power. They're not known for a lot of home runs. They're known for getting on base, doing bunts, having great pitching. And that's what they've done so far in the second half. So I'm going to give them the A-, and I give them the A- just because of the few series that they should have won, and they lost them by dumb mistakes. So
little meat left on the bone.
Yeah,
right.
Definitely. And you look, we all give A's, and there's still stuff that has gone so wrong. Ryan Pepio, such a killer. Gavin Lux, Hassan Kim 2.0. Jake Fraley just re-aggravated. Like, there's been injuries and there's been things that have really hurt this team, and they're still in this position. So
Cedric Mullins MIA for the first 2 months.
Yeah. He forgot when the season started.
I'm really not trying to get too picky about their performance, but I don't know. In the years past, it was they wouldn't show up against the worst teams. I remember they lost a series they got swept by the White Sox in 24 when, we were still kind of assuming they were going to be competing for a playoff spot at that time. And you think about there were so many times where they were losing to teams they should have beaten, and it was just going to come back at the end of the season. You just felt like those are going to come back to bite you if you missed it by a game or two. And that's not been the case for the most part this year. I mean, they dominated the division at home and for the division in general. But I don't know, man. I just that this past series against the Yankees, we harped on it a bunch going in about how important it was. I mean, we were just had our eyes set on that even 2 weeks out, and it was just right there for them to wrap things up. The season series wise, they would have been effectively 7 games up on the Yankees, and that game unfolded the way it did, and I was like, man, we could be going into that Yankees series at the end of September, and being like, if we only just won that stupid game, with Rash pitching, or and having our best pitcher on the mound, and it wasn't a game that we gave up or that we lost necessarily. It was, it wasn't close for most of it, but I don't know. It's
not a Rays baseball season without the flair dramatics, man. It's
eating away at me a little bit.
Second half.
So I'm hoping they prove me wrong though. Maybe the Yankees come out and lay an egg in the second half, and
we'll see. All right, the draft was held over this past weekend. The Rays did have the number 2 pick, and I think everybody kind of knew what they were going. They did in fact pick Grady Emerson as their number 2 pick. The shortstop that'll be with the Rays organization. Highly touted prospect too as well. I think their overall draft was pretty awesome. I think giving them, I think the overall consensus around the analysts around the league is the Rays did get an A for a grade for their draft, which I think they knocked it out of the park, especially with the Grady Emerson pick. Don't want to get much more into Grady Emerson, but I wanted your guys' thoughts about Grady Emerson as the number 2 pick going to the Rays in this past year's draft.
Yeah, I'm no amateur scouting professional.
We don't really do that around here anyways. It's all right. We're not an analytics show. We're not into the draft like other guys. Hey, we'll let other shows do that. So,
exactly. But the fact that the Rays were in position to get one of Rock Chalowski, Grady Emerson, or Von Lackey, I think it was going to be a win no matter what. The Rays tend to go prep, the youngest prep at most athletic shortstop, so it felt like it was going to be Emerson. I've only heard great things, so excited to see him in the system.
Rays love their shortstops, man.
Yeah, I will say, going into the draft, I was partially kind of hoping that they went with one of the college players. I think having Rock Chalowski be available, when I would see mocks, and because they had the White Sox taking Emerson and some, and then they were like, well, I was thinking, man, it'd be so great to see a guy like Rock in the Rays system, and even Von Lackey, I in my mind, I'm like, okay, that means maybe a quicker call up, quicker impact on the team, and that would be really cool. Sean, you might not understand this, but I won't be 40 years old when our top pick debuts. Would be really neat.
Hey, I'm 43. Okay, I'll probably be 50 when he debuts. All right.
Yeah, that's 5 more years. I gotta take care of myself. Make sure I'm still around. So it's So I understand the Emerson pick. In all seriousness, I am really excited about him. Obviously, based on everything I've been reading, I'm not a scout like you said, Sean. I'm right there with you. He seems like he's like the best. He was the top prospect according to MLB Pipeline. Like you made the right pick. I just hope that we get rewarded for going with the prep shortstop this time instead of the incredible college catcher. And that it doesn't have a same impact that the last time that choice was made. So
we were talking about that today.
We were talking about it at the game, but like the thing with that is, we have two catchers that are in our system already that are
right
pretty good. I mean, going with another catcher to me, I mean, yeah, you're gonna have another top. Yeah, it would have been a lot, but because you already have Bodine and Flewelling already in there. I mean, then they're two highly touted guys that are rising up the ranks right now. I mean, I like the Emerson pick. I think it wasn't the last guy we took out of high school, Josh Hamilton.
Out of high school?
Was he out of high school?
No.
He was in college.
Oh, okay. Out of high school? No, we took literally last year. We took Daniel Pierce out of high school.
Okay,
that's how much
I
paid attention to the
draft. That's how much
we've taken high school shortstops for
every
our first
year.
Round pick. The last
Okay.
I think Theo Gillen was a shortstop, but they said he was going to center field.
It's honestly not a bad strategy. Just take the most athletic youngest guy and be like, we're gonna put all our chips on player development, which the Rays are really good at, and get him in the Rays way. So
I mean, their second pick was a high school shortstop. So I mean, if you play high school shortstop, you're pretty much golden.
Yeah.
Now, here's my question: Grady Emerson comes up in conservatively 4 years. I know he said 2 years in the article I read. He was saying his goal is to be up in 2 years. But let's say it's 2029, new stadium. He's making his debut. I mean, is he really going to unseat a 33-year-old Taylor Walls? I mean, hey, Taylor's going to be cemented there. That's the thing.
He's still
Grady's going to have to learn. Grady's going to have to learn second base.
This is a question that we'll move on to our next segment, but this is a question I want to leave you guys with, though. Do you dangle Carson Williams at the trade deadline now?
Yeah, we talked about. I remember we kind of floated that a couple.
I'm floating it again because we're now near the trade deadline now.
I mean, I think logically you would think yes, that it would make you more free you up to consider those types of trades. I will say I feel like the way baseball people approach things doesn't always line up like with logic, because you'll see, oh yeah, just in how most people would think, like, okay, we're going to get the high school shortstop at number 2. And then our next pick, man, there's some really great players, but gosh darn it, we're going to take another high school shortstop, so obviously like they don't line up. The way they think about things and approach things doesn't always line up logically with how most people would think about them.
Right.
But you have to think it at least opens up the idea. I think it would be more about just, I don't know if Grady directly impacts Carson, because again, more than likely Grady's 3-4 years away at the earliest. I just think it would be more a reflection on how they feel about Carson moving forward, like legitimately even just in the next 3 to 4 years, because I mean, Rays fans don't like it. I mean, I'm sure Carson's going to get another chance, but like Taylor's not going, he's not going to go anywhere. Like he's really not. At least for a couple more seasons, I really don't see him going anywhere. So, I would think it does free him up, but I mean, baseball people, I don't know, it feels like they go about it things a little differently than most do. So,
okay,
we'll see. Right. Will someone want Carson Williams? Probably.
Maybe.
I mean, the shine's a little not
little dingy, little dingy right now.
So, we'll see.
All right, let's get into something or nothing. Let's get into our first topic of conversation. The Red Sox recent surge is something to be concerned about. Something or nothing. Drew?
Go ahead, Drew.
Sean?
Yeah, Sean's got it.
I will go with nothing. The Red Sox are playing some good ball. I will let that be known. They have won a couple games in a row. They have also been playing the New York Mets. And at this point in time, that is some free wins. But I really don't think they're much of a threat. They maybe in a weak American League, could they sneak into that last wild card? Maybe. I'm interested to see what does this now. How do they handle the deadline? I think as of right now, they're a game or two outside the wild card. But like other than the Angels, who isn't a game or two outside of the wild card, so they're definitely playing some good ball in terms of catching the top of the AL East or really being a threat come October. I'm not too worried. They can pitch. They can really, really pitch. But I think there's too many holes in that lineup. And I don't think the bullpen is great either, especially when there's a lot of trade talk for Aroldis Chapman. So I will go with nothing.
Okay. Drew? Something or
Yeah,
nothing?
something. I think something.
Okay.
Yeah, they play some weird competition. They did sweep the Angels on the road, which, we barely won one game in LA. We can't do that. And they beat a White Sox team that I think is, people get really excited about them because they're just, fun, and they've got, they're just they're a Cinderella story essentially, but they've been super tough at home as well, and they swept them. So they just have always had such good pitching, even when they weren't winning games. Their pitching has always been really good, especially their starting pitching, even without Garrett Crochet. They're relying on a lot of young guys, but like Peyton Tolley, Connolly Early's hurt, I know, but Jake Bennett's come up and been really strong. Like, they've got these guys that they're relying on that are on the younger side. So I'm curious to see how they hold up in the second half. But I think if you can pitch, you're always a threat. And then, Craig Breslow being, I'm sure, knowing that, he's gotten the seal of, or the, support or whatever from the ownership, but
fans hate him. They want him out. They want him out.
Yeah. Well,
they want him out.
And he put everything on the table with Cora, being the one. They made it very clear this was his call to fire Cora, and with the way the season has gone, I don't think anybody would be surprised if he was gone after this year as well. So if they're making a surge and they come out the gate and continue to play well, you
guess
bet
who they're coming out of the gate with.
Oh yeah, and they're
playing us out of the gate.
Yeah. Yeah, of course we got to catch them on a 9-game win streak. but they've been bad at home. So I just think it's something because they can pitch. I don't think their lineup. Their lineup is not very good. They don't score many runs. They're playing well right now, obviously, but they can just pitch really well. So that'll always keep them in games. And if their offense can finally score some runs, I think they're very viable to be a playoff team at this point.
It also depends on what they do at the trade deadline too, if they're going to be buyers or sellers or both. So
yeah, about 2 weeks ago, Sonny Gray was rumored to the Braves. Sonny Gray could be the AL Cy Young with a strong second half. He's pitching his ass off.
He's been really good. And if we would have beaten the Mariners today, I think maybe the Twins won, so it wouldn't have mattered, but they would have been maybe a playoff team today, the Red Sox.
They're only a half game out right now.
Honestly, it's probably the best time to catch them on a night. If they're going to have a 9-game winning streak, I guess having 5 days off in between is probably not a bad time to have a 5-day break.
It's a great time.
And yeah, man, I don't know. It's very surprising. They really came out strong. Credit to them. They're taking advantage, and we'll see. We'll see. If they come out and take 3 or 4 or sweep us,
no.
Then it can't happen. But you're looking over your shoulder a little bit at the Red Sox too, not just the Yankees.
Yep. All right. Second topic. The Rays will allegedly be very, very aggressive at the trade deadline, according to Bob Nightingale.
Bobby.
Something or nothing.
I'll start on this one, and I'll say something, but
with a grain of salt.
With a grain of salt, because I read the article with Bob Nightingale, and I know that he gets a bad rep. It's well earned for some of the faux pas he's had. It really is. I feel bad for him, but obviously, he's good enough at his job that he sticks around. USA Today is we're going to keep this guy. So obviously, he knows. He's a legitimate reporter. He's got sources, and he knows his stuff. And in the article, he says that they're going to be aggressive, and they're watching Tarek Skubal and Ketel Marte are their 2 people that they're really wanting. But and then Luis Ariz was the backup.
Marte has already said he's vetoing everything.
And that's what, like, literally
That's
the
why-
bullets
and-
below it said, yeah, Cattell has basically said, like, yeah, I'm not
It's
going
like,
to,
no.
I'm not vetoing any trade. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
who I'm going to. So I was like, okay, so we're going to be aggressive for this guy, but he says he's not getting trade. He doesn't want to trade,
Yeah.
so he's going to veto any trade. And then literally it says, like, Scooble said, like,
He wants to stay in
doesn't
Detroit.
want to be. He
Yeah,
wants to stay
he
in
doesn't
Detroit.
wanna
Doesn't want to be traded.
Yeah.
He believes they can win a World Series there. All this. No, he's just. That's all the things you need to say. But it's like, man, I got excited. Like, they're going to be aggressive. And I didn't really believe the Terry Scooble thing before, but now I'm seeing, like, it's in print. Like, no, they're going to be in it for him. I'm getting kind of excited. Like, this is getting me fired up. And yeah, it's like just cold water right on all that. So I didn't really understand that, but we know Neander's going to be aggressive if they have a division opportunity, and they played their way into being the favorites for the division right now. So,
Listen, the Nationals just said today Abrams and Woods are both available. So
wait, they did not say James Wood is available.
The tweet read that they were.
There's no.
Yeah,
they said he is available.
They said no. They said
No,
the
I don't
tweet
believe
read that the Nationals let teams know this past offseason that both of them were available. There's no way James would available. CJ maybe, but there's no way James would.
No way.
Every team's got a price. And the Nationals stink. So
that is literally that whoever reported that's probably the same person that reported the Bobby Witt trade rumors. Back where the Bobby Witt could go to the Yankees or something ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, I know we know he's going to be aggressive. So I think it's something. I'm just glad they're in position for the division, and I'm excited to see what happens. They've got to address some needs. And Sean, I'll let you go. I know we could talk about what they could do, but I want you
breaking
to make
news.
sure
Grady Emerson just liked one of my tweets.
Let's go, Grady.
Boom.
Welcome to the Rays.
Let's go, Grady. Let's go,
brother. Welcome to the Rays Rewind podcast, buddy.
Come on, Grady.
Yeah.
You let him know.
I don't like getting validation from an 18-year-old. Huh? Isn't that? I used to do
very
basketball.
rich.
I used to do
very rich
18-year-old.
Yes.
I used to do basketball recruiting writing. Like I would do basketball recruiting articles about the Florida Gators. This was like in college when I was doing journalism, and I would have to just chase down like these high school guys like on Facebook or at camps and stuff. And I remember thinking, man, I get so fired up. Julius Randle, Carl Anthony Towns, I got them on the phone. These guys are big stars now. It's
big
like kind of cool to look back. But back then it's like, man, trying to chase down a 17-year-old and feel validated. Like, me, like, oh man, something just fired me up. Like I got to talk to an 18-year-old kid. So congrats, Evan. I know the feeling, man.
Imagine trying to explain that to somebody who like just doesn't know anything about sports.
They're like, all right, Sean, something or nothing. Will the Rays be aggressive according to Bob Nightingale?
I think it's something definitely with a grain of salt, like Drew, like you said about Nightingale, but we've talked about it on this show. We have a real chance of winning the AL East. I think Eric Neander is going to be super aggressive. I want him to live up to this gunslinger nickname mentality that he's been given by other GMs that we haven't really seen yet. And if there was ever a time to do it, it's right now. I do think it's hilarious that in Nightingale's article, it was Scooble and then Ketel Marte. And then, like you said, right after that, Scooble's like, yeah, I don't want to leave. Ketel's like, I'm going to veto everything. So that was kind of funny. I do think there is something with the Ketel trade just because that was like so real in the offseason. Maybe he would, everyone has a price. You say one thing in a month, it can be something else. So I do think maybe there's something to the Ketel Marte trade, but I think they're going to be super aggressive. Do we get Scooble? Probably not, but I still think there's so many other, whether it's in the bullpen or some bats for the bottom of the order. I think there's ways to be aggressive while keeping a core group of the farm for our outlook in the next 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
Hey, if for you two, just Evan, I'm taking over your
hosting duties.
Asking you the question.
That's fine.
So, okay, if you could have one of Scooble or Marte, who would you rather have? And then second question would be which one do you think makes a bigger impact? Like, okay, which one would give us the best chance to win the AL. I don't want to say win the World Series, but to win the AL.
I'm gonna say Scooble does. He makes the most impact.
Would you want him over Marte if you could choose?
But see, here's the thing though. Both of them are rentals. I mean,
I thought Marte's got a deal though. Marte's on a bit of a deal.
Are the Rays going to pick that up though? That's the thing though. Are they going to pick that up?
I think he's got some guaranteed years left. I think there is an option at some point, but I
believe so. I just think it's expensive. I wonder if the Diamondbacks would have to pay some of that.
I think he's owed like 20, 25 mil or something like that. I mean, I think Scooble gives the rotation a bolster just because of we're needing more quality arms in the rotation. But the thing is, I don't want Neander to overpay. You know what I mean? Like, to me, like, don't overpay for a rental that this, I mean, again, this is all like, hey, they've got the capital, the prospects of whoever they can go trade for. Scooble is you're going to go all in, but are you going to leave any of those chips to where you can make other moves besides getting that ace pitcher? Like, okay, you go all in for Scooble. What do you got left to go out and get some more stuff that we need help with? We need a second baseman. We need some outfield help. Like, to me, he does give the Rays the best chance, but you're gonna have to give up a ton. Now, if they can get Scooble on discount, which I highly doubt, that'd be great. But you know that the Tigers are gonna be like, we want this, we want that, and we want a little bit of more. Now, Marte, I think it's a little bit different. Like, do I think Marte is going to waive his no trade clause? Probably not. So, to me, it makes more sense to go after Luis Suarez from the Giants because he's a quality second baseman. He can what, Sean? He can what?
He can get on base.
Get on base. So, for me, I would say go after Scooble, but it's just the cost to me scares me the most because you're going to be paying a lot for him. So.
I would say I would go Scooble. And a couple months ago, I wouldn't have said that. I would have gone with Marte in this example, or just a bat priority over a pitcher. But with Scooble, you look at a 3-game series potentially for a playoff game or a 5-game series. You have the biggest advantage with Tarek Scooble towing the rubber, and especially in a 3-game series, winning that first game or whatever it may be, that is such an advantage in the playoffs. So.
And in a 5-game, you're probably getting them twice.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know his playoff stats off the top of my head. I know it's a limited sample, and there's so much variance in the playoffs. So, how much of that do you really want to go off of? I'd assume it's pretty good. But like, if that's the guy like you would want on the mound, so I would go Scooble over Marte. I do wonder how much it would cost because he's maybe the most expensive rental ever. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I'd rather have Neander make like small good moves to where you can get quality guys where you're not giving up a lot, where you can make multiple moves. You know, you're giving up a little bit, but not a lot, to where you're getting guys that are going to plug in those holes that make a difference. That's what I want.
Yeah, no, I'm not about that, man. I want.
Okay, all right. Hey.
I mean, why not? AL's right there. You might not play next year.
We're in a year where the AL sucks. Also, and I know, I get it.
There's just so many I mean, it's always the prospects we keep as opposed to the ones we trade. But like, there's so many times prospects come up and like, you know, they just don't.
Of the prospects. It's like
they don't pan out. You know, like, I mean, I know Mead's playing well this year, but like, you know, anybody that watched Curtis Mead, it like never looked like it was really clicking for him. Like even Carson, you know, hasn't looked great. Like I think about Vidal Brujan. I mean, he was like untouchable, and I was at that guy's debut. And you know, I mean, he like, I don't know. So I think about that, and like I think about our current prospects now, and there's so many of them that
if there was ever a year to overpay, this is the year. I mean, this is definitely the year to go all in. Like get him his money. I'm going to put all my chips in. This is the year to do it. So I would say, all right, let's move on.
I mean, there's so many prospects, but man, they got to get rid of them.
All right, so we got a special segment. We're going to do Certified Flappy Boy. We're going to recognize one of the Rays fans out there that has, you know, is a huge Rays fan. We're gonna profile our Tampa Cowboy. He's known as the Tampa Cowboy on Twitter. Always up in the 300 section, slinging beers back with him and his now fiance, and I think they're married now. But wanted to give big props to the Tampa Cowboy as a certified Flappy Boy. So Tampa Cowboy, Certified Flappy Boy. Go Rays. You're a big Rays fan, man. Every time you go to the Trop, you bring the energy there. So Certified Flappy Boy this week is Tampa Cowboy. So our last segment is Call Your Shot. Let me hear a big prediction for our second half to end the show. Call your shot.
You got it, Sean.
All right. I will go. Evan, we were talking about this today, and I have mentioned this guy's name before on this podcast. I also am biased because I own a lot of his baseball cards, but I think that the Rays are going to see Brody Hopkins up at the MLB level in a bullpen role, but I think he's going to get big outs for this team coming down the stretch. I think he's a guy that can, when talking about the trade deadline, do we go get bullpen help? We've already seen with a guy like Cam Boozer coming up, and like that's an addition right there. Brody Hopkins is already one of the nastiest pitchers in minor league baseball as a starting pitcher. You put him in 1 inning spurts, and I know he has control issues, and that's kind of his MO of like, it's so nasty, just keep it in the zone. But if you put that in 1 inning spurts, man, it might be like effectively wild in a way. So that is my calling my shot, but also I really hope it happens because I think it'd be really fun.
Okay. Drew, call your shot.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to rattle off 2 or 3 here that I feel good about.
Okay.
I think Junior is going to exceed his home run total from last year, which I believe technically he's not on pace for. So I think that's a little bit of a reach at this point, but he's going to exceed his total. I'll say he gets to 48 this year. 48.
Okay.
Love it.
The number I've had in my mind.
I like that.
Second, on our last topic, I'm just going to say I think I'm going to speak it into existence. The Rays are going to go get Tarek Skubal. You're going to go big. Neander's going to live up to the gunslinger mentality. Go get the biggest chip, and that's it. And then another junior. Oh, Jacob Melton is your left-handed outfielder. I was unimpressed with Jacob Melton. Everybody was singing his praises at the spring training because he had 2 long homers. The guy struck out like way too much in spring training. He's looked great in AAA so far. I think he's going to be your guy, especially now with Fraley on the shelf a little bit longer, it seems like. I think he's going to be the guy that's going to get some run time. I would say sooner than later. I really think they're going to get him up here. And it's very consequential because Brandon Lau's having a great year. Like, we could have used a Brandon Lau this year. I don't know if you know that. He would have fit really well with our second base problem. So, like, him playing well, Jacob Melton playing well is really important for this team, both now and in the future. I think he's going to get some run here early, and I think he's going to be your left-handed outfielder that, where you've kind of been looking for. Mesa Jr.'s been doing fine, but I think they're going to give Melton some serious run here. And then Junior is going to win the home run derby tomorrow.
Let's go.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right. That's going to do it here for our live edition of the Rays Rewind podcast, the sickest Tampa Bay Rays podcast on the Sick Podcast Network. Make sure you tune in next Sunday because we've got a special guest coming back who's not only going to be a special guest, but he's going to be a fixture on the show. So stay tuned. We'll announce that during the week. So stay tuned and make sure you tune in next week live here on X. Make sure to catch the replay of the show at our YouTube page at the Sick Podcast Rays Rewind and on our Instagram page at Rays Rewind Podcast. For myself, Drew, and Sean, we'll see you guys later on the Rays Rewind Podcast. See you.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Rays Rewind with El Bushman and Drew on YouTube, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.